Should you come back to WoW? When is the best time to come back? Is Dragonflight gonna be trash? Stick around while I try to answer these questions and more in this video. Alright, so just to get this out of the way, I have a PSA for you guys. Going forward, I'm gonna be planning on putting out at least one video a week, but lately the news has been pretty slow and my day job's gotten pretty hectic. But anyways, I'm going to be doing my best to commit to that. So there might be a week or two with a small gap here and there with videos. And I apologize for that. But just that wanted to let you guys know that I'm going to be planning to try to stick to a routine and get videos out on a fairly regular basis. So now that we got that covered, let's get back on the main topic of this video. So the main question is, should you come back to WoW? Well, that's a very complicated question and has a bunch of layers to that. Everyone stops playing WoW for different reasons, and I can't tell you yes or no, but what I can do is try to give you some options or opinions so that you can come to your own conclusion and eventually decide if coming back to the game is worth it or not. Typically, there are good times to play WoW and there are some bad times. Usually the bad times are when we're in the middle of a content drought or at the end of an expansion, which is right now. But I have to say there are some things that Blizzard's been doing differently, at least for this expansion. With Season 4 of Shadowlands, Blizzard's been doing a new kind of experiment, and basically they're trying to kind of add stuff for us to do at the end of the expansion, which is something I've been saying for years that they needed to add to this game, because going 6 to 9 months, sometimes even, what was it, like 12 months for Legion, of just having this long period of a content drought, it's really brutal. In that time, I usually just log off and play other games, but I guess with Season 4 there's actually a reason to come back and keep playing until the next expansion comes out. In my previous video, the survival guide for Season 4, I kind of go over the faded raids and the new dungeons for Mythic Plus, which are both really awesome things that they've done, and from what I've seen so far, it's been fairly successful. Sure, there are some problems that have popped up, like there's some obvious bugs, there's some tuning issues. I think with Upper Karazhan, there's just certain mechanics when you get into the higher keys, the mechanics on certain adds or bosses basically just one-shot you. So Blizzard's been rolling out some hot fixes to nerf those abilities and basically just try to iron out all the kinks, so to speak. And I have to say, so far with Season 4, I'm actually having a lot of fun. I literally go to work and all I can think about is jumping on my rogue and just trying to run some keys. And despite me just, doing the pug life right now, I don't have a guild, I don't have friends to play with, so I'm just kind of going at the game on like super hard mode, but that's just kind of how things are sometimes. So that kind of segues into the next question, which is, when is the best time to come back to World of Warcraft? And I have to say, well, right now is actually a really good time to get back into the game because it's still relatively early in the season. So there's still, that kind of that level playing ground with people and their item levels. You still have people just running keys 24/7, but it's better to get into it now than it would be in 2 months from now. So right now is definitely a good time. I think at the very least, just subbing to the game for a month is a really great way to get yourself in the door and kind of try out these new dungeons, or I guess quote-unquote old dungeons. But it's just really cool what they've done with this season so far, just because all these mega dungeons were designed really well, the fights are cool, and I just really like all the different locations. I think Karazhan's probably, it was my favorite raid, and then after they redid it to basically become a dungeon, I think the aesthetic and just the overall design of the dungeon itself is just really fantastic, and it's probably my favorite dungeon in the game. So I'm really happy that it's back. And I think we have plenty of time to just have some fun and play the game and, decide what kind of character you're going to be playing for Dragonflight. And the next question is basically, is Dragonflight going to be trash? Or is it going to be, another Shadowlands or another BFA or what have you? I've been watching a lot of the videos from different content creators that have been playing the alpha pretty much non-stop this whole time, and for the most part it seems like the reception from all of them is generally positive. It looks like Blizzard's actually kind of learned from their mistakes and they're trying to make the game good again, and that just makes me feel really good. It makes me really positive, and and hopeful for the future. And sure, some people could make the argument that the features for Dragonflight is pretty thin. Like, there's not really like a huge game-defining feature other than the talent tree. But I think trying to just add all these different systems on top of systems on top of systems just really complicates the game in a really negative way, and Blizzard just ends up having to spend all their time trying to balance this instead of adding more fun stuff for us to do in the game. So I think kind of stepping back from doing all these different features for an expansion, I think right now we really don't need it. I think what Blizzard needs to do is just get back to the basics and just make a really good game, something that's really fun, make an expansion that's kind of has the same tones as Mists of Pandaria. It's just new continent, new zone, new storyline to just discover and just have some fun with. So to kind of just tie this all up, yeah, I think right now is a good time to get back into the game. At least just give it a month and, try out the new season, see if you like it. If not, sub, whatever. Wait for Dragonflight. I think there's enough content in the game to tide us over until Dragonflight, because the game's coming out in 4 months. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate you watching my videos and listening to me ramble about the game and just Blizzard in general. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.